alternatively other than just frequency.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Charles,
The electron. Sorry, by looking at the oxygen you were saying.
But yes, it's about getting oxygen into the cells because a lot of the cells become dead or they're not charging because of a low level of oxygen it
Okay.
directly in the cell. Because when we think about oxygen, people a lot of the time associate that with like breathing,
Yes.
deep breath. That's one part of it, but then another part of it is the oxygen that's getting into your cells.
Yeah, yeah. And
Yeah.
then that correlates to if the body is able to absorb more oxygen, then we know
Yeah. Right, right.
the
So
whole anyway.
yeah, so there is ways that have been working on
mm,
of getting oxygen into the cells, and funny enough, so far the test has shown that hold on there, people's eyesight's automatically started to improve. So then it started to get, it starts off as one thing, but it's growing as to how many benefits the body's getting from just this one thing.
Okay, all
So
right.
it's yeah, but definitely frequency
Okay,
can get the cells to the point where the cells is naturally absorbing more oxygen.
okay.
so
Let's
oxygen. So the
hmm.
oxygen that we're trying to get into the cell, Charles,
Yeah,
like cellular respiration, we're talking about here.
yeah,
That we're talking about the cell
yeah,
breathing.
yeah. Because remember, the cell's not now. Once you get in the right level of oxygen into the cell is no longer aging. Yeah, so that reverses the body's aging, and once you've got that level of oxygen that the cell requires, there cannot be any disease. It cannot stay around the cell.
Let's clear one thing up for me, Charles.
Yeah.
Any of you two there? Why is oxygen given a bad name? Why is it a bad guy?
I think
Again, because it's like, yeah, I can see why oxygen would be given that bad name because do they really want you to be well?
Don't make me laugh. Oh man, it's true. But
It
yes,
is
bad press.
oxygen. Oxygen can act as an electron donor and an electron acceptor. So
mm,
it can act as acid and alkaline. Yeah. So when we breathe it in, because we're getting it from plants, if you looked at the oxygen atom, it's got all of its electrons on it. So what's oxygen on the periodic table? It's 8, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
So that would mean that it would have 8 electrons around it. Yeah. So when we're breathing it in, we're getting 8 electrons. Yeah. For
Yeah,
every oxygen
stable.
atom that we're breathing in, and we're breathing in loads of oxygen atoms. So we're getting lots and lots of electrons. But as soon as it goes into the body, it starts to get stripped of those electrons. Because
right.
remember, we're made of acid, so we have to start stripping those electrons because we need them. As soon as we start stripping those electrons, it can now act as a free radical.
Yes.
That is the
Do you
thing.
get me?
Yeah, 100%. And this is why now working on now to get the oxygen direct to the cells.
Mm.
and I think the language as well, because there's oxygen or cellular respiration, and then there's also oxidation, isn't it?
Mm.
The oxidation is more like, from my understanding of it, is like where can become corroded.
Hmm.
Yeah. It's when oxygen is going around like a free radical and stealing
Yeah,
electrons. It can
yeah,
corrode things, it can damage things. And that's the reason why it gets a bad name, because oxidation is a bad thing, isn't it?
yeah,
Because oxidation means the loss of electrons.
yeah,
Hmm.
And then reduction means the gaining of electrons. That's why I hate the way they teach science. It's so upside down. So reduction means the gaining of electrons, and oxidation means the loss of electrons.
yeah.
So then they put those two terms together and came up with redox
Hmm.
potential. So that's where redox comes from, redox potential, reduction and oxidation. Where
Yeah.
basically all they're talking about is the flow of electrons. That's what they're just talking about, electricity. That's
Hmm.
it.